Welcome back to more cross racing in the Eastern League. This is West Stow, which I think, perhaps controversially, is the best local league cyclocross course. Stick around and watch and let me know if you've got a better course in your local league. I'll try and show all of the course features, but I think this course has pretty much got everything. Waffling so much, I missed the start, and here we go up this big hill. Frantic start here. Not really anywhere to go. I'm just trying to not get gapped too much. I was urged before this race to just try and enjoy it after the last time where I was moaning on a little bit too much about tyres and my own performance. But we've reached the top of the hill here and I'm not in too bad a position. And hey look, I just noticed a little bit of a gap on the left hand. I just think, oh, why not give it a go? I'm past the rider there. And keep an eye on number 14 ahead of me. You'll see quite a lot of him in this race video. I'm just giving up a position here to the guy in grey on the right here. And we're just coming up to this twisty bit around the trees where no one can really move past, and it just gives us all a bit of a chance to take a breath and recover for a second. I mean, I'm not going to be taking the best lines here because I've got riders left and right, but as long as we come out of the trees in the same group as we came into the trees, then it should be okay. It's quite chaotic getting around here. I think I do a bit of an arm swing around that post there. And maybe bash into Dan on my right just there as well. And another thing I mentioned in the last video was the idea of shortcutting the time taken to learn the course. And here's an example of where I think I improved on this race. So on this lap I kind of come in a bit too tight on the corner here where I should be taking a more of a traditional racing line, and I think I do that much better in the following laps. And here the trick was to stay really quite tight to the right here and not go out wide, and you'll see I kind of make a bit of a mistake there and actually give away a position as a result. This guy on the mountain bike storms past me on a much better line, but it actually gives me the opportunity now to sit behind him and learn a better line through this section here. So this is okay what I'm doing here, but you notice he's going to the right there, which is the only bit that I found I could kind of get up this slope, because it was just so sandy that you can see where I've gone. It's like, well, now I'm having to stop, push and shuffle and then give away another position, which is no good. But much better on the following laps, as you'll hopefully see. This section is like left, right, left, right, left, right. You just don't know when it's going to end. But again, somewhere that you can't really move past others, and it's just a case of kind of taking this opportunity to recover and just focus on the cornering. We're coming up to the logs in a minute. Another beautiful day, another course with absolutely no mud at all, really dry, well drained. And so here's the logs, and I try and aim for where the log's at its shallowest and the kind of ground around the logs at its highest, and that's why I kind of go to the right there, and that works out pretty well for me. I can hop these logs pretty easily, but I do think that I don't take it quite as fast as some of the other folks, so I do lose a bit of momentum and time getting going again after the little bunny hop. It looks like this guy on the crux here had a bit of a mechanical, so I try and squeeze past, but there's no space there, so I just sort of let him get going again. And this part of the lap is probably the only kind of recovery section. A nice little bit of tarmac before we get back to the twists and turns again. And I'm feeling quite happy with how I'm doing at the moment, and I noticed the guy who had the mechanical, he's obviously trying to get past the guy in red, so I'm thinking, well, if I follow him I can maybe move up as well. But I'm certainly happy that I'm not losing any ground, even though I'm not necessarily taking any positions at this point in time. Just maybe not quite got the confidence to push past on these flat bits on the grass, which is probably what I need to be doing when I'm feeling strong. I'm perhaps a bit too quick to settle for where I am and like look behind me and make sure that the gap to the people behind me is growing, rather than looking at how I can advance through the field. But oh no, guy on the crux again, another issue there, slips over on the corner. But you can see number 32's noticed a gap developing in front of our little group, and he's trying to push past Dan in yellow there, but he certainly won't get past in this little tree area. but now he's spotted the chance and he's going to move past on the inside, and I think I try and follow as well, but I just probably wasn't quite in the right position to be able to do so at that stage. Again, I'm swarming all over down here, really trying to get past him. Maybe this tricky corner will give me the opportunity, so we go down into a little dip here, and there's a real surge of power required to get out of the corner, and you can see in the shadows we're just neck and neck, and he's really not giving up, but I just managed to squeeze past. And now I'm wondering if I can make up another position, but I think I take this corner way too fast. I think he does as well, and I'm also feeling a bit gassed from my amazing overtaking manoeuvre just a minute ago, so I opt not to push past on the finish straight. And also I'm remembering that the next obstacle is the massive sand pit, so I'm trying to use this section for recovery just to give me more chance of getting through the sand unscathed. Here it comes, it's coming soon, the moment you've been waiting for, the giant sand pit, and I'm feeling really nervous because I've only practiced it once before the race and I've totally forgotten how to ride sand. Let's see if I can make it through. I'm just going to follow the wheels, see if I can make it. Oh no, it's not looking good. Oh no. Oh, that's frustrating. These are the two places that I've just made up. Oh dear. And everyone's absolutely gassed now after that massive effort to get through the sandpit. So what did the course creators do? They put two giant hurdles right after the sandpit, so everyone's off and has to run through, well, walk over the hurdles, I think. And I'm back behind Dan again. And now we're going back down the hill and approaching the stairs. I mean, this course really is incredible. It's got sand, hurdles, logs, and now stairs. And I'm using the opportunity because he seems to be getting off quite early there. So I'm sensing this might be my chance to get past again. Let's see if I can remount like a pro. Nope. The bike gets kicked. But we're really close, and there's another opportunity here, I think. And once again, I just seem to have the power on those little short hills to make up that position. And now here we are rolling down the hill, the fastest part of the course, but also the most bumpiest part of the course. But I think despite that lovely chance to have a bit of rest, I'm still feeling quite a bit of fatigue from the first hard part of the race. My heart rate's still really high, and you can see from the shadows that I'm going to get overtaken. I wonder who it's going to be. Yeah, it's our man in yellow, it's Dan coming past, but this time I think he's got company and I get passed by somebody else as well. And I think this is where I finally kind of let the wheels go a little bit and end up spending quite a bit of time riding around the course by myself. So skipping through to that section that I mentioned earlier, and you can see that was a much faster line there. So I've really kind of learnt this part of the course, which it was possible, even though it looks quite simple, it was possible to lose time here. We just go through the under 12s sandpit, and here's this other part of the course which I kind of learnt the best lines for on the first lap, and you can see much quicker up here, a bit of power, and we're back onto the logs, and again much quicker through there. Kind of flying really, because I'm trying to catch up with the little group ahead, as you can see. But this is quite a comical moment coming up. Just bash into that tree and really hurt my arm, it causes me to lose another position, and I start feeling a little bit disheartened, but I set myself a bit of a challenge of making sure that I can get through the sand pit on the following laps, and here's my second attempt. Much better this time. I remember what to do: low gear, sit back, let the bike go where it wants to go, and hope for the best, and through with very little problems this time. And here we go again for the next lap. Same sort of approach, start on the right and weave my way through, but this time it's slightly amusing because there's this photographer here leaning through the barrier, and I almost hit into them. They had to move out of the way, but again we get through the sand with no problems, and we're back to this bit again. Much happier with my approach and line through there this time. And same again for this bit. This is the last lap now, and I'm really finding my rhythm and pushing on as hard as I can, really, to try and see if I can, get back into the race. And I'm quite happy with the fact that the last couple of races I've really improved through the race and pushed much harder in the last lap, and really tried to keep going towards the end rather than just surviving, and I'm not even scared of that tree anymore. But hang on, what's this? Who can we see in the distance here? It looks like a flash of yellow. So just seeing Dan in the distance there and realise I'm obviously gaining on him just gives me that little bit of inspiration to push as hard as I can for the last part of the lap and see if I can make it a bit of a race to the finish line. So I'm probably taking this section as fast as I've taken it in the entire race, and I'm just getting closer and closer, and it's looking like I might actually make it. But just here, disaster strikes. He looks to his right and he notices I'm catching him, and he realises he can't just roll into the finish line, and it becomes a bit harder for me to make up any ground. But I think I'm gaining ever so slightly through this windy section, and it's looking like I might be able to make it, but am I going to have the energy to get past this late on? Are we going to have enough of the course left? Through the trees, try not to hit them. Here's that little up and down corner where I got past on the first lap. Pushing as hard as I can. Big effort there. I can see him, it's getting closer, I think I just sort of forgot exactly where we are in the lap here, and there's only like 2 corners left, so I just don't think I've got enough of the course left. And there's the finish line. But it was a good effort, and I was pretty happy with my performance. I really love this course. I think it was fantastic. Well done to everyone involved in putting on such an amazing cyclocross race.